My grandma loved Ellery Queen mysteries, murder mysteries. She thought they were delightfully twisted. She would have really liked The Case Against Carroll, which is a 1958 short story about 20,000 words long. The main character is John Carroll. He's got a bit of a nasty edge to him, but he's also a pretty nice guy. He loves his cute kids, his wife, who's in a wheelchair, and he even gives the cab driver a big tip. Who could hate a guy like that? Well, his boss, for one, Meredith Hunt, storms into Carroll's house in a rage. He just discovered Carroll stole $20,000 from the company. Carroll explains he had to steal the money to pay off his brother's gambling debts. Hunt doesn't care. He fires Carroll and promises to call the cops if the money isn't back in 3 days. The argument turns into a fistfight when Hunt accuses Carroll of trying to seduce his wife. Hunt is shot later that night. Naturally, Carroll's the prime suspect. He has no alibi, the murderer used his gun, and he looks extra suspicious when he tries to cover up the stolen money situation by lying to the police. When Carroll's let out on bail, he begs his wife to trust him. He's about to do something dangerous, but he promises everything will be okay in the end. This is where the story gets twisted. Carroll goes straight to the victim's widow, Felicia. She is his alibi for the crime. They spent 3 hours together while her husband was murdered. They both know if the news gets out, everyone will assume they're having an affair. Carroll blackmails Felicia with some old love letters. She's forced to sign an official statement in front of a notary public. It confirms the alibi that they were together at the time of the murder. Carroll promises he won't show it to anyone except as a last resort. As you would expect, the murder trial goes so badly, Carroll's forced to reveal his alibi. After all, it wouldn't be a very interesting story if his blackmail and secret love letters stayed a secret. It turns out Felicia double-crossed Carroll. She stole the statement from the envelope a few minutes after she signed it. As soon as the trial started, she ran away to her cottage up north so she couldn't be called as a witness. Why, it's almost like she doesn't want to help clear her blackmailer. Ellery Queen and his father track Felicia down, only to find she's been murdered. She was wearing a strange outfit when she died, and the signed statement is nowhere to be found. Carroll panics over his ruined alibi. He's found guilty of all charges, and there's a fairly bitter ending where he's executed. Afterwards, Ellery explains what happened. Carroll gave himself away during his panic. He accidentally revealed he knew what outfit Felicia was wearing when she died. Only the killer would know that information. Remember, it was a very strange outfit, not her usual stuff. Now, the timing is crucial, because he killed her before he learned about the double cross, so the truth is pretty much the opposite of what readers were led to believe. Her death didn't ruin a good alibi. It was meant to secure a fake alibi. With her dead, there'd be no way to contradict her false, signed statement. As I said, the ending is bitter. Ellery offers to reveal the truth, but Carroll demurs. He'd rather let his family think he was wrongfully convicted. The end. Post-story follow-up. I thought it was a good story. It's twisted how Carroll murders his boss, then gives himself a fake alibi by blackmailing the widow into making everyone think they're having an affair. And then he kills her too. It's so cruel. I also like the plot twist that things were the opposite of how they appeared. Readers got to see the scene of Carroll blackmailing Felicia. It definitely felt like the alibi was real the whole time. The blackmail was certainly real. It's only upon a careful rereading that you can see the hints the alibi was false. The authors did a great job of misleading readers in that highly emotional scene. In my recap, I didn't mention Tully, the third partner at the law firm. He makes for a good fake-out suspect, and he's there for most of the investigation. In passing, we're told the trial included testimony from a night watchman who saw someone retrieve the gun from the office. We didn't see that part of the investigation. I'm sure it would have come up if the story had been expanded into a full book. The investigation into Felicia's death also would have been a good place to expand the story. Who were the suspects for that crime? I assume Carroll tried to fake an alibi for that murder too? What was it? Ellery Queen was a pretty minor character in this story, as was his father. You could replace them with any other detectives, and the story would mostly be the same. I haven't read other Ellery Queen stuff, so I don't know if that's typical or not. I feel like it'd be weird for Ellery to be a minor character in his own book series, especially when he's attributed as the author. Since this is a short story, it works fine to have a one-shot character like Carroll be the lead. Ellery can take a backseat this time. He'll be there in the next story. Carroll won't. Ellery's absence would be more conspicuous in a longer work, though. Overall, I like this story. I give Ellery Queen, The Case Against Carroll, a thumbs up.